is my toysrevil toy.
A bear?
Yeah.
And then we have a schoolgirl.
It's all good.
I mean, I work with many toy manufacturers in Japan, like Good Smile Company, but I don't have like, despite the economic situation, I don't notice any slowdown of the consuming of figurines, for example. So, like Good Smile Company, they've been releasing lots of figures over the past year or so, and their Figma production line is just so packed that they just can't accept any more requests to like make Figmas, for example. And like my peers, the users on my blog, they are constantly posting like photos of like figures which they've purchased, basically. So I think that while people are spending stuff, maybe spending less, I think if there's something that an otaku wants, they would pay the money for it. They would find the money for it, and they would like gladly pay for it, basically. And I think one of the things is because I find that otaku are passionate about their hobby, which is great. So I think otaku and their passion basically leads to a continuous spending on figures.
I guess during this recent crisis, or per se, in terms of urban art toy, where my blog talks about, there is a strange feeling of scaling down. At the same time, you have people moving out of the industry because they cannot compete with everyone else. But at the same time, you have people that are scaling up, even though they are small operations. And because it's urban art toys, we're talking about limited editions where it's a smaller quantity of toys. Where ironically, the quantities go down, I guess because of materials and stuff like that. So instead of, let's say, 200-piece run or 500-piece limited edition worldwide, it go down to 50, 100, or even 10. But the price goes up. I guess it is scaling down and providing higher value and quality. And I guess consumers will be more discerning in their taste. If they are indeed strapped for cash, they will choose what they like and of a good quality than in the past where I like it, I buy it because I can bloody afford it, buy everything, worry about it later. I mean, that is for the urban art toys perspective, I guess.
One thing could be, for example, so some manufacturers, they come up with a figure, but then they color it in different colors. So the default color is like purple, and then they bring out a limited edition with the same figure, but they just like paint it red, for example. So they know that fans would like pay money for it because it's like the character that they like. But I've noticed that some fans they voice their opinions on how they don't like manufacturers doing this, especially when it's like just a different color, basically. So I think that makers need to be in touch with the user's feelings and not just try to release stuff in order to like milk them for money, basically. So it's very important to listen to the consumer and give them what they want.
That is actually the exact same thing that's happening for urban toys as well. It is the multiple colorways. A single figure comes with 5, 6. There's 12 different colorways. For the hardcore collectors, they love it. But because urban art toys are very artist-based, and they'll probably follow an artist regardless of what he or she comes out with. So after a while, yes, first piece in red, cool. Second piece, blue color, no, cool. Third piece, green, third piece. But there are people who still buy, and hence the manufacturer still makes. But for the artists themselves, it is hard if they have direct contact to the fans, and the fans are like, why are you milking us for all these 12 different colorways? But what can he say? Because at the end of the day, it's the manufacturers who makes it. To answer your question of not denting people's enthusiasm, but maybe add value in a sense. Add value, maybe it's not monetary value, but more tangible value in the sense that what they collect is something worth collecting beyond just a piece on the display shelf. But at the end of the day, exactly, the manufacturers, or rather the makers or producers, should be a bit more clued in on what people want rather than what people want to buy.
So for otaku toys, I mean, usually figures are based on characters from like anime, manga, or games. So I think like a digital camera, I mean, it's I mean, they're really nice, but it's just digital camera, and you can go for like Panasonic or Sony or whatever, and you know they still do the same job. But figures are different in the way that I mean, even though it's the same character, each manufacturer, they would like make it in a different pose, and they all have like different levels of quality as well. So for the figure industry, it's I mean, there's lots of what's the word, aesthetics. So there's lots to do with like looks, and because they come from like anime games, etc. The world is like much bigger, and I think it reaches out to a wider audience as well. So like I noticed that when a company releases a press release for a camera, they would say that they expect to sell like, I don't know, 5,000 units, and that's 5,000 units for a manufacturer is probably a lot. But for an anime audience, it's not a lot at all. So I think that, like with the world of figures and anime, it reaches out to a wider audience.